Hey cat people, let's talk about something that sounds scary but doesn't have to be feline herpes virus, or FHV1. I know, when you hear that word, your mind might go to some dark places, but let's clear the air right now. This is a cat-specific virus. It has absolutely nothing to do with human herpes viruses. You can't get it from your cat, and your cat can't get it from you. It's one of the most common causes of upper respiratory infections in cats, often called cat flu. Think of it like a cold that can stick around for a cat's entire life, flaring up from time to time, especially when they're feeling stressed out or their mojo is low. So how does a cat even get this virus? It's incredibly contagious and spreads easily from one cat to another. The most common way it's transmitted is through direct contact with an infected cat's saliva, or the discharge from their eyes or nose. Kittens are especially vulnerable, often catching it from their mothers shortly after birth. Shelters, catteries, or any place with a lot of cats living together can be hotspots for transmission. Even sharing food and water bowls, litter boxes, or bedding with an infected cat can pass the virus along. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of what a feline herpes flare-up actually looks like. The symptoms are mostly what you'd expect from a bad cold. The most common signs are related to the upper respiratory system. You'll probably see a lot of sneezing, sometimes in big dramatic bursts. You might also notice discharge from the eyes and nose. This can range from clear and watery to thick and yellow or green, which could signal a secondary bacterial infection has joined the party. Beyond the sneezing and runny nose, pay close attention to your cat's eyes. Feline herpes often causes conjunctivitis, which is inflammation of the pink membrane around the eye. Their eyes might look red, swollen, and squinty, a condition we call blepharospasm. They might seem sensitive to light. In some cases, you might see ulcers on the cornea, which is the clear surface of the eye. You might also notice your cat is less interested in food, is drooling more than usual, or seems lethargic and just not like their usual self. Remember that kittens and senior cats, or any cat with a compromised immune system, like those with FIV or FELV, are at a higher risk of developing more severe symptoms. For a tiny kitten, a simple upper respiratory infection can become very serious, very quickly. It can lead to dehydration and a lack of appetite that they just can't bounce back from without help. This is why it's so important to be vigilant. You are your cat's first line of defense. You know their normal behavior better than anyone, so when something is off, you'll be the first to notice. If you see any of these signs, especially if they last for more than a day or two, it's time to call your veterinarian. A proper diagnosis is key. Your vet can confirm if it's FHV1 and rule out other issues. So your cat has been diagnosed with feline herpes. Take a deep breath. Your role now is to become the ultimate manager of their well-being. And the number one trigger for a herpes flare-up is stress. Think about it from your cat's perspective. What stresses them out? A new pet in the house, moving to a new apartment, loud noises, a change in routine, or even just feeling bored and understimulated. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to create a cat superhighway of an environment that builds confidence and reduces anxiety to an absolute minimum. Let's talk practical tips. Consistency is your best friend. Keep feeding times, play times, and even your own schedule as predictable as possible. Ensure your cat has vertical world access, cat trees, shelves, and perches where they can get up high and observe their territory from a safe vantage point. This gives them a sense of control. Also, make sure resources aren't an issue. In a multi-cat home, this means multiple litter boxes, food stations, and water bowls spread throughout the house, so no one feels bullied or blocked from getting what they need. During a flare-up, your job is to provide supportive care. Gently wipe their eyes and nose with a soft, damp cloth to keep them clean and comfortable. The discharge can get crusty and block their nasal passages, which affects their sense of smell and, in turn, their appetite. To encourage them to eat, try warming up their wet food slightly to make it more aromatic. Regular vet checkups are non-negotiable. Your veterinarian is your partner in this journey. They can prescribe antiviral eye drops if your cat has corneal ulcers or antibiotics if a secondary bacterial infection pops up. Prevention is always the best medicine, right? The most effective tool in our arsenal against feline herpes is vaccination. The core FVRCP vaccine, which is recommended for all cats, helps protect against feline herpes virus, calicivirus, and panleukopenia. While the vaccine may not completely prevent infection in all cases, it does an excellent job of significantly reducing the severity of the illness if your cat is exposed. Good hygiene is another cornerstone of prevention, especially if you live in a multi-cat household or are bringing a new cat into the family. Always wash your hands thoroughly after handling a cat you suspect might be sick. If you have a cat who is actively sick, it's a good idea to isolate them in a separate room with their own litter box, food, and water to prevent the virus from spreading to your other cats. When bringing a new cat home, a slow and steady introduction process is vital not just for social harmony, but for health too. Keep the new cat in a separate base camp room for at least a week or two. In the end, living with a cat who has feline herpes is all about empathy and understanding. These cats are not damaged goods. They are just cats who need a little extra TLC. They can still play, purr, and fill your life with an incredible amount of love and joy. By creating a stable, low-stress environment and working closely with your vet, you can give them a wonderful quality of life. You are their guardian, their advocate, and their family. And with your compassionate care, they can thrive, living their best 9 lives right by your side.